everyone, and welcome to another episode of the United Gamedom podcast. I am your host, Darren, aka Dow, and wait a minute. We've no Dennis. We've got no Derek. Am I doing this on my own? Of course not. How sad am I? I'm not flipping a solo guy here. If you've been listening to this podcast from the start, then you know that I actually had someone else as my co-host back a few months back, but then he had to drop out, unfortunately, though. But he's back for now. He's back with a vengeance. For now, though, just for a one-off, for this little wee spin-off episode, and that is, of course, my good friend Liam, TheDonovanViper. Hello, Liam.
Hello, you beautiful Irish pimp. How are you doing this jolly good, rainy, horrible British summer? Use the emphasis on summer afternoon.
Yes, of course. The summer is awesome here. We always get the rain. Our summer is pretty much April and May time now. For the last few years, it's always been that case.
Yeah.
Where the summer just basically keeps pissing it down. America stole our summer, pretty much. They're suffering from heat wave around the US, and we're suffering from floods, pretty much, around the UK.
The bastards.
Yeah, I'm doing swell, so yeah, and yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Getting by. And yeah, for any of the listeners who unfortunately didn't know why I dropped out, I must admit, coming from the horse's mouth, my schedule and my health was playing absolute, havoc with me, so rather than let Darren down every week, I just said, matey, take the reins. You and Dennis have got amazing chemistry, so just run with it. And you have, and you're doing an amazing job.
Well, thank you very much. The thing is, I did say it though, because I said to Liam as well, because the fact is, I know Dennis for 6 years this year now, and I've known him ever since GameSpot days, and pretty much got to know him there on, Xbox Live and on GameSpot, and we really used quite have a rapport, like an Irishman and a Canadian, just kind of, strange friendship, I guess. So, but I really do enjoy it, and as I said, like Liam did say, he had to drop out because of that there scheduling problems and his health though, and he just said go with it, and I did. I brought Dennis and Derek along with me for the ride, and I thought it's been a pretty good ride ever since. This podcast started on the 14th of March, so we've been going for like 4 months now, which is great to see though. But first of all, before I get into the thing, this podcast will be uploaded on you'll hear this podcast on the week starting the 15th of July, because one will be already uploaded last week, which will be episode 11, which I already did with Dennis and Sammy, aka Tatsplat, which was great, and therefore just putting this up in a week delay, because I don't want to overfill you now with United Gamedom and then just basically leave you hanging dry for like 2-3 weeks. Pretty much, and therefore basically we're doing an all gen gamer schedule now, where they're recording a week in advance and then just post it up a week later. Seems to be the case now, but for the most part we usually do this every 2 weeks now anyway, whenever I'm off, like the Saturday night though, and whenever I'm off straight though, I'd probably just record a few episodes together. But anyway, enough of that tangent. Liam, you're doing fine, I assume, today?
I am today, thank you very much. Just a little thing, so we are recording this when I am 21 years of age. When this goes live on the YouTubes, the iTunes, wherever we post it, I will be 22 years old.
Yes, be a time capsule.
It will. So that'll be something to look forward to.
You look back in this 30 years from now and say, wow, I was 21 when I did this, and I was actually 21 when I did this. Little week-long capsule, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I'll just say happy birthday now, though, but I'll probably say it on Twitter when the time happens.
Thanks, buddy. Just mindless self-promotion on my birthday there, You know how it is.
Yeah. I'm sure you got a few tweets from guys saying you happy birthday and when it comes anyway, so.
I sure hope so.
Anyway, we'll probably follow the same structure for the most part here, though, although there is a few parts that are going to be pretty damn small. Games we've been playing, for example, it's not going to be very long whatsoever, because Liam's only been playing the one game, and pretty much I've only been playing the one game as well, so shock and horror, I've been only playing the one game, or two, not like, 20 games is usual. So, but we're getting the news here. There's a few news stories I want to pick up on as well. One of my favorite games of all time is being pretty much re-released, but in downloadable version, and that is Final Fantasy VII. Because if you remember, this actually did come out on PC back in 1998, and now it's being re-released downloadable style on Steam and that there, I believe. And that is, of course, it's Final Fantasy VII, and it has a few new features. It has cloud saves, it has achievements, and it pretty much has an option to boost your characters. So you're paying to actually get the privilege of basically cheating your ass through the game. Now, that's kind of silly, don't you think, Liam?
I do. I must admit, blasphemy coming in here, I have never played Final Fantasy VII, because it was originally released on the PS1, wasn't it, Darren?
Yes, it was released back in 97, late November 97 here, and in the US States as well. I actually remember, this basic a tangent, I actually didn't get a PlayStation until Christmas the following year, 98, and I got a LAN of one from one of my brother's friends, and got Final Fantasy VII for rent, and I didn't have a memory card, so I basically had to play through the game without a memory card. And the first I got was at, like, it was a good number of hours in. No, it's basically you start in off in this area called Midgar, which is basically this industrial city, and you exit it from it then, and it's a bit down the line though, where you actually have to cross this marsh area and avoid this big snake-like creature called a Solemn. I actually fought it and got killed every time, and therefore had to start the game. And I did this several times, got to it though, and then later then I realized that you actually don't fight that creature pretty much at that point of the game, and you actually had to avoid it, and you had to cross it over that area with a chocobo. So I basically just wasted my ass doing that every fucking time. But yeah, I don't get that to me is a stupid flipping feature to put in there though. People are already going to do that though. Oh great, I don't need to play through this game properly. I could just make everything 99999999, have all the spells, have flipping nice of the round at the start perhaps, or like have unlimited gil. Okay, that's like okay.
then they shove an achievement at the end for the PC version saying, "Cheating bastard! You leveled up your character within 30 seconds of playing the game." That'd be funny.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid anyway. I actually did get the PC version back then, and that's actually one I got first before I actually got the PlayStation version. And I got to the final boss in the PC version, and pretty much got killed because I was way too under leveled at that point. But I eventually did finish it on the PlayStation as well, and say it's one of my favorite games of all time. A lot of people don't like it. I could say it's overrated as hell. It's the game that got me into RPGs, and it kind of in a way brought RPGs into the mainstream as well.
Yeah.
And where would it be without Final Fantasy VII? Some people probably say, "Oh, it would probably be better off," but there's people that just nowadays it's kind of really. I don't think it's aged really well. Like the graphics look like shite now, of course. All blocky and flipping, look like dolls pretty much.
I will have to look into picking it up for the PS1. As I said, I've never played it because I was never a big Final Fantasy fan back in the day. And as you said, it was released in '97, so I was only 7 years old when that came out. And you know what it's like being a child wanting a game, and then somebody goes out and buys you a game, whether it be a birthday or Christmas, and then they buy something for you which kind of sounds like Final Fantasy, but it's nothing like Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Like I was like 12 at the time when it came out, and then I got 13 when the PC version came out. But like that's not the first RPG I ever played, because I played Final Fantasy Mystic Quest and the Secret of Mana on the SNES. But this is back when I didn't know what RPGs were, and I was like, I don't really like this, so I don't want to fucking do. I'm completely lost. But like RPGs now is one of my favorite genres, because it's like a kick-ass music. Some of them have great gameplay, and some of them have quite fascinating stories, and that's why people like them a lot. But I recommend checking it out though. I don't know what you think about it though, because it is 15 years old now.
Yeah.
So it is, but I suggest you check it out anyway though. I actually do have a second copy, but I actually do have 2 copies. I might send along your way though, but the problem is the second disc's cracked in one of the copies. I don't know how it happened. So,
thank you for the offer anyway, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, I might just do that. I could just I don't know if they actually sell them on eBay or something, the second disc. I have 2 copies, but the thing is, one of the discs 2 is cracked. So, can't do anything about that, but I'll just look and see if I can get a disc 2 somewhere.
Cool.
Anyway, moving on. Persona 4 Arena. Have you heard of this game, Liam?
I've heard of the franchise Persona, but I've once again never played a Persona game. Having me back this week where all the news is basically games that I've never played before is a real good start, please.
Yeah, exactly. Persona 4 Arena, I assume there's very little people actually know what it is. It's basically a fighting game based on the Persona games, like basically Persona 3 and 4 mainly, because I think there's characters from both of them. It's apparently the first game pretty much to be region locked, which, for you to know, PS3 games pretty much tend to be region free. And now this one, the North American version of the fighting game, will only work on North American and South American PS3 consoles. The online service will be global. I don't know if it's going to be the same with the Europe version, which is apparently coming out at the end of next month. I don't know. But it's kind of surprising though, because the fact is there's a lot of games already on the PS3 that are region free. And for all of a sudden one of the games to be region locked, I'm sure a lot of people would be annoyed because people sure would have imported this game perhaps to get it like a few weeks early, rather than having to wait like months on end. I actually didn't realize this was coming out so soon. So it's not. You said you never played any of the games now, but dope. Persona 4. What is your take on games with slow starts now? Just before I tell you something.
I tend to give them at least an hour or so, before I get into them. There have been many games that I've played, for instance, probably not the same genre, but the GTA San Andreas.
Yes,
there was
love that game.
So much hype for that, but I played it, and I got as far as where you've got to take CJ to the dude's house and steal all the stuff. That record, what do they call him? Record DJ player bloke.
I won't have a clue though, it's been so long since I played that game.
And I could not do that mission for the life of me, so I put it off for weeks and weeks. Never went back to it until about 18 months, 2 years ago, and I still couldn't do the mission, so slow starts. It all depends on whether or not I can do them. Some games breeze through them with slow starts, without even realising how many hours I put into them. Others, as I just mentioned, San Andreas, like difficult bits.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, sometimes it can really put me off, because there's been many times that I've played, like Final Fantasy X. I put that in for about 45 minutes to an hour and a half, and I just felt as though I was running backwards.
Then you wouldn't like Persona 4 then, because Persona 4 probably has the slowest start of a game I've ever played. The fact is, you play this game for maybe 3-4 hours, maybe more, before you actually have an actual battle in the game. You're pretty much going through cutscene, walking around a bit, cutscene, walking around a bit, cutscene, walking around a bit, and it lasts forever.
Cool.
And you've been playing it for 4 or 5 hours before you actually get a battle. It is really slow, and that's pretty much, if you're not a fan of slow start games, pretty much avoid Persona 4 at all costs, because that's the case. Like, I haven't finished Persona 4, but that game is definitely the slowest start I ever played. Final Fantasy 13 is another game that has quite a slow start. When in terms of slow start, was more like 20-25 hours perhaps, where nothing happens and then something happens, and then you wish it didn't happen.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you here, matey. Completely going on a tangent. If you can hear a cat meowing, don't know if you can hear it meowing at all.
No, I don't hear anything
Well, if-
at the moment. Just hear your lovely English voice.
If you can hear a cat meowing at all during the podcast, a woman downstairs, my neighbour, has just taken in a cat which was given birth on the pavement. No shitting
Right.
you. This woman just...
Okay.
I just literally got up, she looked out the window, and you could... Downstairs, it's always going as... You know, so... That...
Hey, we could have had a live birth on the podcast. Sure, we could have got loads of hits there.
Yeah.
Put that as one of the things they talk about.
Yeah.
Live birth on audio.
That's the only reason why I said it, because I can hear it clear as day up here, and obviously the speaker in the laptop isn't that loud. So that was just in case anybody could hear anything along those lines. There is a cat actually giving birth downstairs. So
I don't hear it though.
that's,
Well, if I was out here and because I used the Turtle Beach headset, I was out like at the back here or something. It probably would fucking take it up night clear as day, because this fucking mic can take off fucking sounds from like 5 miles away, it seems sometimes. So no, I don't hear anything at all. So that's basically it. But that's kind of ironic though.
yeah.
I would have probably said something if it did though, but no, I don't hear anything whatsoever.
That's why it took a bit longer to reply when you asked me about have you ever played a game that you couldn't get into. I was actually, laptop in the air, just peering out onto the road. So yeah. Anyway.
Being a nosy bastard, pretty much.
Yeah. So anyway, back onto the main spine of the podcast.
Okie dokie. And that's basically all I have to say about Persona though. It's like that. It just kind of sucks. So a lot of people I think are really kind of annoyed about this here though. But the fact is, I don't know when it's out in the States. I think it is out like early next month or so. We are getting it at the end of next month, which I actually didn't realize it actually was coming out here, because I thought it was one of those games that didn't have a release date here yet, and basically had to wait like 6 to 8 months after, like most Atlas games. Like Persona 4 the Golden, I don't think actually has a release date here yet, doesn't have a publisher, so chances are we'll have to wait 6 to 8 months after it's out in the States, because of course it's Atlas, and Atlas games tend to take their sweet ass time coming here, like Catherine, for instance.
Yes.
Moving
All I bought that game for was the underpants, I've got to admit. The underpants are lovely. Lovely and roomy.
Oh, you got it, have you?
Yes, never played it, but got the, the big box version on the cheap. It was like £20. I bought it off of someone who was in a market stall. They had no idea what they had, and I was like, oh, okay. I'll take that deal up.
It was the game, not like just the pants now, was it?
No, it was the big box, and don't you worry, I haven't got a heart boxer shorts fetish, even though I've got 3 pairs of them, but that's for another time.
Yeah. £20, jeez, that was cheap.
Yeah.
That was like the Love Is Over, I think it's called.
Yeah.
We got a slightly different one now, I think it was the Stray Sheep edition. I don't think we got the boxers now, I don't recall, I could be completely wrong now, but we did get a slightly different version here than the States did anyway.
Well, for anyone listening, the box art of her on the front is her, leaning over with her ass in the air. I don't know if that's different on the PAL or the NTSC version, but it works fine on my 360, so...
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard kind of horror stories about that game. It's one of those games a lot of people say, yep, have to go to easy because the puzzles get way too fucking hard, and that's the only time I ever go to easy though, is if a game gets just way too hard for me to play through normal, I have to switch it to easy, but most cases I always play through normal.
Yeah. I kid you not, my mum was playing that the other week because I've made her own gamer tag and she plays it. It's not actually on my gamer tag at all yet, but she plays it, and then whenever there's a cutscene where you see Catherine, she always looks up and she goes, at the end of a cutscene, it's, oh, I bet she fucks like a rattlesnake. After every cutscene, that's all she says. She probably does like a puzzle a day, just keep her brain going because her DS isn't working properly because she loves a bit of Dr. Karishima's. But got her that, bought that, she's playing it, and every time it's, there's that pause where you're thinking, what's she gonna say? Because the older generation don't know how to take things. And when she came out with that the first time, I thought that's bloody hilarious, and I tweeted that a few hours ago because she was doing one of the missions. I bet she fucks like a rattlesnake. I was like, okay, back into Mario and play on my 360. That's all.
I think I missed that tweet. I don't think if I would have said something there about it. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Tales of Xillia, which is I think probably the latest one to come out in Japan, although they're getting a sequel pretty soon, is getting a Western release, which I know a lot of people, including myself, are kind of happy about because it's been out for a while in Japan and we're finally getting it now. It's not coming out until next year though, but a lot of people are just basically probably sending death threats or basically emails to Namco saying, please release Tales of Xillia here on the West, please. Japan have got it for ages, and yes, and it was announced, I think, yesterday. Like they had like a special event that Tales of Xillia is coming to the Western on the PS3, and it's going to be launched in both Europe and North America in 2013. I think I already know the answer. You haven't played a Tales of game, have you?
Going back, I always get confused what the names are. My friend on the GameCube, Tales of...
Symphonia.
Symphonia, that is the only one that I've ever seen gameplay of. Because they're just so damn expensive these days, aren't they? The Tales of Vesperia for the 360.
Yes.
That's kept its price and it just keeps going up and up. The cheapest one that I've seen for that is 50 quid, and which I honestly cannot afford. But
it's on Games on Demand for £20, just to let you know.
Okay, I might go and pick that up later.
And let me just say, it's definitely worth that money though, because it's one of my favourite games of this generation. Absolutely loved Vesperia. It's a brilliant RPG. Excellent anime, sort of cel-shaded graphics, great gameplay. It's just a really good game. I loved it. But yeah, I remember that I actually pre-ordered the game, Vesperia, and then a while later, like, people were saying, man, this game's expensive, and I was like, thank fuck I pre-ordered the game.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was going for like £100 in certain cases as well. I was like, really? Jeez.
Yeah.
And then it came out like a few years ago on Games on Demand. It's like, yep, great. If you want to get it now for cheap, just download it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tales of Xillia is getting a release. We haven't got the last one that came out in the States. There is Tales of Grace F, which is for the PS3, and it's basically an enhanced port of a Wii game that was already released in Japan. We haven't got it yet, but we're getting it at the end of August, which I've pre-ordered. So I'll be playing that probably and talk about it in a later episode. But for people who really are happy about this, you can jump for joy now that it's getting a Western release, just as Japan's going to get the sequel, pretty much. Now, this is a story that's quite interesting now, because I've seen someone tweet about this on Twitter about it, or a retweet or something, and something to do with this whole the EULA. Of course, the EULA basically is the kind of a thing that you basically, when you buy a game, you don't really technically own the game somewhat though. You just have the license to play the game pretty much. And it came out this week about this here. It's a second-hand sale of software protected rules European Court. If the EU's Court of Justice finds content creators can't prohibit post-purchase retribution of work, no matter what end-user license agreement says. And basically what it comes down to here, I could say, is that you're able to sort of sell on digital games, which I find quite interesting indeed, because you all know you download digital games now, and basically you have that, you can't sell them on. despite the fact if you pay the game for it and you realize it's complete shite, then you're stuck with it. The only way you can get rid of it is basically deleting it from your hard drive or whatever. You just wasted, £5, £10 or whatever it is on this here. But for some reason now here in Europe, it's, from what I can read here and what I read elsewhere, it's kind of okay now that you can actually sell your digital games on to someone else, or like to maybe sell them back for a refund or something now, which I just don't understand whatsoever, though. It's kind of weird to see, though. And what's your take on this, Liam?
It is very open-ended the way that they've described it in the article. I must admit, what can we do with it? Like, can we trade in different, use the trade-in motion? Like, say, for instance, we've got Trials HD, we've got Braid, and we've got something random like Hexic that we got for free. And say there was a new game, just for instance, going to say Simpsons Hit and Run for the Xbox Live Arcade. And to trade those two games in, you could get the Simpsons Hit and Run. I know it's not out, I know it probably won't ever be out, but just using that as an example, can we use those titles in order to trade in order, for Microsoft points or PlayStation Network points towards that game, or?
Yeah, that's the thing. No, it's we don't actually know about it completely yet. Now, there might be more information though. Like, like it says here, basically, will EU citizens be allowed to turn on unwanted Steam games in €1? So basically, if you download a game, paid like £5 for it, didn't like it, and you basically want to give it back though, can you like send it back then? I want to resell this game back to Steam or someone else, even though they could just at a discounted price, which I don't think you can though. But like you said as well, can I like take this game, can I take this game and then sell it on to pay for this game, which we pretty much do in stores. We take on old games and trade them for new releases. Is this going to be the future now that we are able to do this digitally as well as physically? Who knows? It's go ahead, sorry.
Another thing which confuses me is, things like that need keys. I know you need Steam keys in order to purchase and download content and, random things like that. And I know that is only exclusive to one specific PC. So how are they going to get around that? To be honest with you, in my head, I don't think they've thought it out as thoroughly as they should have done, because there's way too many unanswered questions that gamers like ourselves, could throw at them, and they'll probably just sit there and go, "Oh, we hadn't thought of that."
Yeah, it's basically, it's kind of like EU sort of laws, sort of counts, like basically the Court of Justice, basically issued the ruling, so it was, and it's going to be weird as well now, like there's certain sites, Steam, of course, GOG.com, which is basically Europe, well, because it's kind of like CD Projekt's project, and where you can download old, some new PC games, but like quite classic ones as well. You can get to play them on current day PCs and things like that. Just, I'd like to see how this is going to be, how this is going to turn out now. Because I probably would like it though, because the fact is I've nowhere here now except for like 1-2 stores where I can trade in physical games.
Yeah.
So, and I have a lot of Steam games. I have a lot of digital stuff. I have loads of Steam games, I have loads of Xbox Live Arcade games, and I've got pretty much crap on both sides. So I'll be looking forward to seeing more of this, wherever it may be. Is there going to be something like this going to happen over in the States, North America, elsewhere? Who knows? I doubt it.
As I said, there's so many unanswered questions. I could go on for hours, just asking you different things, and you'll be like, about the indie games, what will happen to those, and any downloadable content that you may have bought, like Left 4 Dead, the survival pack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Always thinking, my man. Always thinking.
I don't mind giving money to indie developers, because I think I've said this before though on the podcast. Some of the indie games are a lot better than some of the, you know, AAA games, like some of the big blockbuster games that come out nowadays.
Yeah.
I can definitely say that. Like I mentioned this game before, Outland is like one of those small games like on Xbox Live Arcade. It's not like technically an indie game perhaps because it was published by Ubisoft, but it's one of those smaller games and I loved it. I think that game is absolutely brilliant and thoroughly recommend people download it on the PSN and Xbox Live Arcade. I don't know if it's still up now, but it was one of the free games you got when you signed up for PlayStation Plus, because there's this like whole PS Plus offer at the moment where if you sign up for membership, you get these certain games free, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like about 12 games or something, and that was one of them. I don't know if it's there still, but sign up for PlayStation Plus and get it then for free if it's still there, because it's awesome. The only story I have left now is one that I kind of, in a way, I kind of came out of the blue because I really didn't expect this now, and that is another game is getting a HD remake, a HD basically a makeover, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of people like saying, "Oh my god, another fucking game in HD makeover." It's just as bad as bloody Capcom releasing the same bloody game 50 times. And that is one of my favorite games. My favorite game on the Sega Saturn, and that is Nights in the Dreams, is getting a HD gloss over pretty much. And it's coming out later this year on the PSN, Xbox Live Arcade, etc. You know the usual formats pretty much.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Nights?
I have never owned a Sega Saturn, so that is a
I think you did say this before though. I think you did.
Yeah, that is a definitive no. I was always brought up a Nintendo, hands up, and I've been tweeting for the past couple of weeks now. I want to get into the Sega because I played Gunstar Heroes the other week for the Xbox Live Arcade. Love that to bits, so I will be getting into.
Easy 200 points.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, I just have to say it though, that game is easy 200 points. Just basically play through the game and you get your 200 points.
Yeah, I loved it though. I played it
Yeah.
3 times and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it though itself though. I remember playing it back on the Mega Drive. I've got it on the Xbox Live Arcade as well. I don't think it's on the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. I don't think it is. I could be wrong.
It's been a while since I played that one, so I can't verify nor deny it.
I know Dynamite Heady is on it now, but I don't know if Gunstar Heroes is. I'll have to look it up. I think it is.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a brilliant game though.
After playing that, I am, going to go balls deep in the Sega. I'm going to get myself a Sega Mega Drive, start on that, and then once I've got a bit more cash, then I'll move into the Master System. So, unfortunately, no, I have not played very many Sega games at all that were released on the Mega Drive, Saturn, or Master System. So, enlighten me, my good friend.
Have you got the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection?
I do.
Yes. Basically, that's pretty much most of the great games on the Mega Drive are on it anyway. Like Right Star, the Sonic series, Streets of Rage, some of those games, basically classic games. I know Andy from the Radical Rascals podcast has said he wants to play Right Star pretty soon. And I think he's actually been playing the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection recently, him and his fiance. So
I did pick that up for him because he did send me something very, very special.
That's right. You actually sent it to him. Yeah, that's right. I remember that now.
So,
Good sent anyway. That's a great collection. I thoroughly recommend.
What he sent me was bloody beautiful as well, but this is a podcast for gaming. I'm just going to say, if you're listening, Andy, I am eternally grateful for that. I haven't done a video on it yet on YouTube, but there is still time, so look out for that, guys.
Yes. Okay.
Shameless plug there.
Yeah. I basically plugged the fucking hell out of their podcast. I basically mention their podcast every week. It's pretty much probably, to and fro because I always get mentioned in their podcast week in and week out a few times. So got a good friend Darren every fucking week because I always send answers to the question of the week and certain times, 2 times throughout the podcast as well. they mentioned my name. Basically, just returning the favor.
Yes. We love
But-
you guys. Mwah, mwah. I'm going to remove my nose from between.
Yeah, remove our lips and our nose from their asses pretty much
Yes.
at this point,
Yes.
and continue on with Knights. Knights in the Dreams HD is coming out. I did say about it on thing that I was just kind of surprised. Like I said, basically I don't know what to say. Like I said, I love the game, but I don't think it's big enough, like in terms of play time, you know, like a massive appeal perhaps to warrant a PhD remake.
Yeah.
But then again, this could actually be very good news for Shenmue now, because if Knights can get a HD gloss over, then bloody Shenmue should get one.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Like Knights, I won't expect that to happen now. Like Knights, geez, that's kind of a bit of a surprise. Considering the fact that there was a PS2 release of the game, but it was only released in Japan. So therefore, it's probably nice to see it over here. Like you basically can play it in its like, you know, standard like HD visuals in a way, like, you know, it's HD makeover, but you also can play the Saturn version. So you can get its kind of Saturn authenticity there. So you don't need to buy the Saturn version, Liam, if you ever decide to get the Saturn soon enough.
I'll be jumping on the PS2 version before I go any further then.
Yeah, the Xbox, yeah. It's a great game though. Like there's the Wii sequel came out, Knight's Journey of Dreams, which I know not a lot of people really like. I think it's a good game, but it's not really. It doesn't touch the original pretty much, but does have some great music. Both games have really great music. I can definitely vouch for it. Totally recommend listen to the soundtrack on YouTube or whatnot. I think that's pretty much it in terms of news that I care about now. I don't think there's anything that you care about now either. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Can't say I can, matey. As I said to you earlier on, it's one of those weeks where probably not the best week to get me on because none of the news has interested me, but, you know, probably next week there'll be releases of news, you know, coming out of their asses of different things that I enjoy, so it's just one of those weeks, my friend, one of those weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'll get you back on again. It's not going to basically say like, yeah, thanks for coming back, Liam. Fuck you now. It's not going to be one of those situations now. Because I said you're the original host, so therefore I'll bring you back, you know, every now and again.
Thank you. You know, and I'm always, whenever I'm free, you know, I come back with open arms. Embrace me.
Rich, yes, and give you those smoochies and things like that.
Oh yeah, we did that way before we started, so that is, I still
Yeah.
can't walk straight after what you did to me guys, so you know.
Yeah.
He may come across as being lovey-dovey on the podcast, but when he's off the podcast, he can do terrible things to people.
I'm not lovey-dovey whatsoever. I swear like a motherfucker. Anyway, let's move on now. The games we've been playing, this is probably going to be last all of 5 to 10 minutes because we've barely played anything. The only game that Liam has been playing, like he already mentioned, is Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Isn't that correct, Liam?
That is 100% verified. I absolutely am in love with the game. For all of you that know, I do kind of go for easy achievement games while I'm doing this sub videos I'm doing on my YouTube channel, but this one, I cannot put it down. The music is absolutely fantastic. I know some of the songs are pure 90s cheese, like, what was that one, the Sunshine song, Darren? Can You Feel the Sunshine?
Can You Feel the Sunshine from Sonic R?
And another fan favourite of Sonic R is the Supersonic Racing. Dude, there's no time to look around. I played like 9, no lies, I played about 9 Grand Prix just with that song. Yeah, just like, if the game had subtitles where you could sing along to the game, I would do it and I would post a video. Seriously, I am in love with it. I'm in awe with it, you know. Why I put it off for so long, no idea. You know, absolutely love the game. Always play as Shadow. That's the only character that I play as when I'm doing Grand Prix. I've done all the missions where I had to choose like all the different characters that they, specifically need to do a mission on. But other than that, I play as Shadow all the time. Love the motorbike. How about you, Darren? Have you dabbled into the
Yeah.
dark arts of Sonic and
No,
Sega?
I haven't dabbled into the dark arts of Chaos Control or whatnot now of Shadow. But I have the game also, and I think it's a great kart game. It's probably one of the best, kart competitors to Mario now. I think it's probably the best one since Diddy Kong Racing, which I'm glad to see some people really like that game, Diddy Kong Racing, because I really prefer to Mario Kart 64.
Mm.
I don't know about you now. Have you played both Diddy Kong Racing and Mario Kart 64?
I have. For once, I have actually played a game that we are discussing.
Yay!
Round of applause.
And what one do you prefer?
Mario Kart.
Oh, okay, you're one
Whether
of
it's
those.
to do with the characters, that I can identify the characters and everything, or, it's Diddy Kong Racing, I can play it for 20 minutes, got it for the N64, and I always go back to Mario Kart 64 if I want to play a racer, and honest truth, I think that Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing could rival Mario Kart 64.
Super Sonic and Sega's All-Star Racing's miles better than Mario Kart 64. Like, I did enjoy Mario Kart 64 back in the day. Like, I thought it was a sort of good game. But like, once you play the later Mario Kart ones that has like better tracks and that, and then like going back to it, it's like you realize, man, that game was overrated as hell.
Yeah.
My opinion, because some of the tracks in it are really, really bland and boring. Like Rainbow Road on the N64 one has got to be one of the most boring tracks ever in existence. Now I don't know if you agree with that or not.
I'm gonna kind of slide away from that one because Rainbow Road is my favorite track on Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, it's the longest track, of course, but the thing is, all it is basically a long, like, kind of uphill, downhill thing. That's what it is. It's not really, there's nothing really else. I don't think there's any twist. I don't think there's any turns or anything like that, is there?
There is, but very, very little.
Yeah, it's basically you just go down this long down this long hill and then go up again or whatever. It's kind of one of those. But I think it's a really boring track. It's got to be one of the most boring tracks ever.
I mean, once you've utilised, once you've pulled ahead by about 10 seconds of the second place player, I can understand where you're coming from with the whole, oh, this is really boring. But, if you kind of dub it with your own voice, kind of hype up, if you're in the lead and, that huge jump, like, get amazing air on it and, like, just completely just let yourself go. It's like, oh my god, he's Bowser. Is he going to land on somebody's head? Oh my god, Mario, he's been squashed.
Yeah, isn't there? I think there's like a shortcut or something. If you like jump or something, you can like jump half the track or something like that.
Yeah.
I know there's one in the Wario Stadium as well where you can actually jump over the thing and actually skip like a part of the track as well.
Yeah, that's the dirt bike one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Many times that's been utilised, but
I've never done any of them.
But once again, once you find out the whole thing, you kind of utilise it to your advantage, and I can understand where you're coming from when you say it does get a bit boring after a while. But
the fact is, it is the longest track in that game, though. Like if it was it was like shorter, then I probably wouldn't think it was as bad, though. But it's just a long track of nothing. There's nothing really appealing about it, in my opinion. Like later Rainbow Road tracks have been really great, and some of them have been fucking really devilishly tricky now, with like no barriers or anything like that now.
Yeah.
Like I think the Wii version's pretty tricky. I think the GameCube version was pretty tricky as well. But like, I say, yeah, I like the Mario Kart series anyway, though they're good games.
Yeah. Another thing that I do enjoy on the Rainbow Road one, which is probably why it sells it to me all the time, is just the music.
Yeah, that is a good tune. I like the Rainbow Road music. Yeah, it's great. And there's this sort of video on YouTube. Andy mentioned a few times on his podcast the Rainbow Road intervention mix-up.
I haven't seen that one.
I have to link you. He did mention it though a few times. It's this guy. Did you ever hear the cry guy in the intervention? He goes,
Oh, that one. Yeah, and he's like
That
going.
the guy goes like, "Sit down, stay inside. I know you still love me," and then you just hear this like cry, yeah, like out there.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
There's a Rainbow Road kind of mix up for it. It's hilarious. I have to link you to it later though. It's just absolutely hilarious though. Cause I think he mentioned it though, and then I checked it out and it's like, man, this is just hilarious.
Yeah. I have a vague idea because it's the two black guys, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, people can describe YouTube videos to me, but when they give me the title, it's kind of like, oh, I don't think I've seen that one. And it's like, describe it to me, it's like, oh yeah, I know which one it is. Oh yes.
Yeah. I actually didn't know what that was from. Like I seen that cry thing before. It's like, what? Where's this from? And then I think that Andy mentioned like the show. It's like, oh right, that's where it comes from then.
Yeah.
Cause I didn't know what show that came from until I heard it on that podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Tangent City. Actually, fuck it, I don't care though. I don't care if it's Tangent City or whatnot. It's just basically a spontaneous episode to do anyway.
Yeah.
Just basically going in tangents here. But yeah, Mario Kart. Now, what is your favorite Mario Kart before we go back into Sonic? Sega.
The Super Nintendo Mario Kart, or Super Mario Kart, as people know it. I call it the Super Nintendo Mario Kart. So that has always been my favorite. The very first one that I ever played. Can go back to it. Never get bored of it. One of the things that I did enjoy the most was the fact that you could collect coins on the track. But then when they took that out of the Nintendo 64 version, I was like, why did they do that? Do you have any ideas why they did that?
No. I think that it's back in now, so it is anyway. Because I know like the 3DS version you can collect coins.
Yeah.
They do. Which I think it's like kind of, a bit necessary because I think if you collect them, you get a bit of a speed boost as well.
Ah. Okay, that makes sense.
But that's definitely a good Mario Kart game, 7 on the 3DS. Thoroughly good game. Great online though. That's one of the things I like about that though. Like Wii one, I really liked because of the online. I played nothing but it for like a couple of weeks when it came out, despite the fact that the blue shell is the spawn of Satan in certain parts.
Right.
Now, what is your take on the blue shell?
It's ideal as long as you're not in first place. You're in last place and you can drop it and it's amazing, but first place and you get hit by it, boom, rage quit all over. Somebody overtakes you and you end up going back into 5th.
Yeah, that's one of the main things a lot of people fucking hate, especially when you're on like the last lap and then you're just like you're just near the end of the game. Like this, I think has happened a few times for me. I'm just about to finish the race in first place, and all of a sudden just get hit by the fucking blue shell near the finish line, and then a bunch of people fucking pass me and I'm finish up in like 5th or 6th then. That is the absolute worst.
That is annoying.
When that happens. I really do hate that. But yeah, I really do like the Mario Kart series. I think my favourite one's probably Double Dash.
Oh, I love that. I really
A lot of people hate Double Dash. Because of the whole, 2 double character carts.
Yeah.
But I love the tracks in it though. I like like each of the people had their own, different cart style. Like Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong had like the barrel, and the baby Mario and Luigi had like little pram and that there.
Yes.
But some people I know just really don't like that one. I don't get why. I think it's great. Like people love the DS one, and to me that's after going back to that as well. I kind of feel the same way for that there than I do with the N64 version. I think that one's overrated. Like there's I love Luigi's Mansion in the DS version, and there's a few other tracks I like, but other than that, it's just like, it's not that great. But anyway, back to Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing.
On a tangent, I just sent you something through Skype. Just have a look, let me know what you think.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Cats. Yes.
That better be edited out, obviously.
No, it won't be. I don't really do much editing, no. The only time I edit, like, really is, like, if there's, like, cutouts or whatnot now. That's pretty much all I do in terms of editing now.
For anyone who's
It's like,
wondering what the lols are about, there is a thing, you know, you've always seen it about rock stars and doctors, and it's one on cats, and it's what I think I do and what my friends think I do and everything like that. And if Darren wants to leave I'll personally leave a comment with the image below in the comment section, but I found it quite funny. The last one,
yeah,
what I really do is a cat where it's asleep on its.
yeah, it's like upside down, pretty much. It's just, like, lying on this little wee, like, what, cushion thing, is it?
It looks like a cat bed, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, cat bed, yeah, and it's like lying, like he's like sprawled out from like half of it's inside it, and the other half's like just lying out on the floor, pretty much.
I just really want to, you know, steal that one. Put a caption above the bed saying "fuck the haters."
Holly would appreciate that because she really likes her cats.
Yeah, that's for you, Holly. You can't see it yet, but you will do soon.
Anyway,
What have you been playing,
back.
my man? What have you been playing?
I mentioned it as well. Like I played like before Wednesday. I played a bit more of Secret World and Ratchet and Clank, a bit more of them. But I already sort of talked about them in the one that will be being posted tomorrow. Will be already up when this comes out in episode 11. I really like those. I really like the Secret World. I see a few people be playing as well, like a few guys, you know, the editors like Jeff Gershman and Kevin Van Ord, like GameSpot and Jan Baum, etc. They've been playing it. I don't think there's really anyone else that I know of been playing it though. I think I'm the only person on my Twitter feed that's actually bought this game.
I did notice. Is this the same game which Derek posted in the United Gamedom Facebook page? You can all follow it. There will be a link below. The United Gamedom Facebook page where something about, I can't remember what it said, but something about best oral sex ever or something.
Right, when was this posted?
This was posted 2 hours ago. Derek says,
Right.
"Is this why you like this game, Darren?" And it's got oral sex in the secret world is simply mind-blowing. And Dennis put,
Right, I have to check this out because I have not seen this yet. Sorry, again, tangent here.
Dennis replies, so that's why he plays that game. If it's mind-blowing, I need to
Okay.
pick this game up. MMO, eh?
Right, okay.
I better not open that. It might have a sound bite or something.
Mind-blowing orgasm. Right. No, it's not because I like that. It's not because I like that. Because I had no idea what that was. I had no idea about that until you mentioned it there. Thanks. Everyone's gonna say, "Oh, Darren likes this game because it's like has fucking old sex in it." Screw you! No, I like it because of the concept, not because of the flipping sex.
On here on the United Gamedom podcast, your host,
I've
Darren,
only want.
does not
I've
condone oral sex in any nature.
Yeah, exactly. If I wanted to play a game for sex, I'd play fucking games like fucking, you know, Playboy the Mansion or fucking those, you know, stupid shitty games like the Gay Game and
Yeah.
BMX Triple X and things like that. Or Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball with the fucking nude mods. If I want to be fucking that sad, I just play those games. Okay,
I think we've lost
stop
our,
it.
I think we've lost our listeners now. They've all gone to
Yeah.
pick up Triple X and Leisure Suit
Yeah.
Mansion and
I haven't played any of those games, and I don't fucking not going to, because those games suck from what I've seen. Figuratively speaking, not literally.
nobody
But
likes
anyway.
pixelated porn anymore, do they?
No.
Well, not me anyway. Not me.
New. Yes. Right, getting back in the swing of things. Jeez, I've lost my fucking train of thought now because of you. Now, screw you for that.
This is why you wanted me back.
Yeah, spontaneity, Jesus, spontaneous. Oh my god. Um, but yeah, anyway, yeah, Secret World. I've been playing it though. So I didn't play it since like I think maybe Tuesday was the last time I played it though, and like watching like really like I talked a bit about for like the concept and like the way you level up and that there and it. But the main game that I've been playing ever since this like mid last this week though is I mentioned as well is a game that I'm very much looking for. Was very much looking forward to. It's pretty much my most anticipated handheld game for the rest of the year. And it's on the 3DS. A few people on my Twitter feed are really enjoying it themselves, which I'm glad to see. And that game is awesome. And that is Theatrhythm Final Fantasy, which, for you that don't know, is basically what it says in the box. It's a rhythm game with Final Fantasy music. And if you like both of them, if you like any side of that, if you like rhythm games or if you like Final Fantasy music, this game is for you because it brings the best of both worlds in each and makes a kick-ass rhythm game.
Does it have Hannah Montana in there as well?
No, it's only Final Fantasy music. If you want theater rhythm, Hannah Montana, go and play to Disney or whatnot now.
But you said it. You get the best of both worlds. I want Hannah Montana in it now. Damn it!
Oh, jeez. Bringing back bad jokes from the dead now.
It's going back to that journey thing that I tried.
It's going back to the beginnings now of the United Gamedom podcast with myself, with the best of both worlds. I forget what it is now.
Payback's a bitch.
Don't you dare fucking say it written S lyrics now, or else I'm gonna end this podcast right now.
Goes and plays a drum. Boom.
Yeah. There's such a band on the record. Okay. Yeah, but it is a brilliant. It is. I just can't put it down. No, like I brought it. I'm bringing it into work with me. I've been playing it at work during my breaks now. I'm not doing it when I'm at work when I'm working now, or else nothing would get done. I could just be standing there in the BWS section, which is beers, wines, and spirits, and just standing there, just tap slide tap slide, and like fucking they'll be saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'll be fired from that job if that was the case. But I'm not that bad now. I'm not really slouching that, and I'm not going to do that now. But this is really great game though. It basically has music from the 13 numbered Final Fantasy games from Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3 up the way to 13, and includes the of course 11 in the MMO. And there's a bunch of modes in it now. One of the modes is series mode, which is basically you have each of the 13 games and you have 3 main sort of themes. You have this field theme, which is basically, it usually is like the overworld theme in the game, whatever game it is. And then there's the event theme, which is basically like kind of one of those it's kind of one of the music tracks or something, one of those like kind of, important parts of the game. Has like in Final Fantasy 8, for example, it's the sort of dance scene, the waltz, it plays that tune. Final Fantasy 7, of course, it's Aer's theme, so it is, and basically shows like footage of the game in the background or video or whatnot, like CG video from the game itself. You basically follow the thing. And there's battle theme there, which basically is probably one of the battle themes. It could be a boss battle, or it could just be like the main battle theme in that game. And it basically takes place in like playing like kind of what the old style Final Fantasy games look like, where you had your 4 characters on the side, and then there's like the enemy then comes from the left, and then just basically tap along. Each of them have their own section. You basically have to tap along. Like there's 3 different tap things you can tap, and then you have to hold in. Like red ones you just tap, touch it. Green ones basically is like a trail, and you have to hold it and then let go. And then there's like these yellow ones, which basically has an arrow. Basically you have to slide to that direction, then flick to that direction. It could be like up, down, left, right, or diagonal. So it is. And that's basically but there is like openings and endings as well, but they're just basically, it's this like crystal thing, and it plays like kind of the opening theme of the game. You basically have to do, you just tap the screen and get this thing called, Jesus, it's going to be hard to say, Rhythmia. Basically, you have to keep getting Rhythmia to, you know, unlock stuff like like more songs and, you know, different features and things like that as well. Great game though, and there's like other modes as well, like challenge mode. Basically, play those games. You can play those songs again, but in higher difficulties, because series mode all you can play is basic, which is piss easy for me. It's like I could just do it with my eyes closed pretty much. And then there's like, let's see now, there's expert, which is like a bit harder but still a bit easy, and then there's ultimate, which is probably my level in this game. So it is. It is just a really great game, and you could say go through them, and then there's like there's this other one called Chaos Rain, which is basically you get these notes, basically that kind of hard tracks from the game. Some of the tracks you only can play in Chaos Rain, they only come up in the dark notes you get, and therefore you have to like play them there if you want to play them. And some of them range from, you know, not so bad to, you know, pretty tricky, because some of the tracks I played are pretty tricky though. But I usually get you know, S rank or A rank anyway, which is usually up the higher class of rankings anyway. But you can get like, you know, double S and triple S as well. But the thing is, you have to unequip your characters, so you do, because it's like basically there's this hype RPG format as well, where you basically equip your characters with these things. So, and the only way to get, you know, double S and triple S is basically, now in order to get triple S, which is basically the best ranking, you pretty much have to perfect a track. You have to get everything in critical, because you can get like critical, great, good, bad, miss. You have to get every single note in critical, which I've done on one track. And then you get like triple S and, you know, double S and S and like so on and so forth. That's pretty much all I'm going to say now, because I'm basically rambling on like a motherfucker.
I did notice that you tweeted up that you got some pre-order bonuses as well, didn't you?
No, I didn't get a pre-order bonus now. I think I was really with Amazon.
Right. I did notice some tweets going up about getting some pre-order bonuses, but
I think I was already with Amazon now. Because I got mine in shop too, which is pretty much where I get all my stuff from. Because
that is a very good company, I must admit.
Yeah, it's definitely one. I always go to them now for games pretty much, because I usually, for the most part, I usually get them, you know, day early, and some cases 2, and in one case 4 with Witcher 2. I got it 4 days early before that. It was like Tuesday, Tuesday, and I got it the previous Friday. It's pretty awesome.
I must admit, when you did that, when you mentioned Rhythmia, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Rhythmia, I think I pronounced it a bit wrong.
Yeah. It sounds like an STD. You know, they could be like a 10-year-old kid. Well, say 10-year-old. 10-year-olds aren't as innocent as they used to be, are they? So just say a 7-year-old kid, and he's on the bus playing it, and he sat with his dad, you know, and he goes, "Look, Dad, I've got Rhythmia. Oh, look, I've got Rhythmia." You know, some of the older generation could laugh and go, I wonder what that is.
Okay, is that some sort of STD?
Yes.
STA. Okay. Yeah, that actually does sound like an STA or STD, whatever.
Either that or is that new drug that's going around which makes people bite people's faces off?
Yes. But yeah, that's basically, I'm not going to ramble on about it now, but for people who have already played know what it's all about though anyway. It's easily my favourite 3DS game now. Absolutely can't get enough of it though. I've played certain you know, tracks numerous times though. But the thing about the Dark Note, great about the Dark Notes is that you do get the same some of the same tracks though, of course, but for the most part they're actually kind of different. Like there's certain parts of that track that are actually different from when you played it last time. So you might be getting a different version of it though, like a different, rhythm pattern.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, like no pattern or whatever, like no track or whatever you like to call it. But it's really good though. I have to fully say it's really really enjoyable though. I quite liked the Theatrhythm. Definitely love it. Yeah, the pre-order bonus though, like you mentioned though, I was already on Amazon and you get like a stylus and like stickers,
Yeah.
which kind of wish fucking Shop 2 did though. That's kind of one of the things I probably hate about Shop things. I didn't like Shop 2 didn't have it, but Amazon did. But I haven't heard the best things. I haven't heard the best things about Amazon now. Here. Have you ever ordered from Amazon before, like pre-ordered stuff?
The last thing that I honestly bought off of Amazon was Ready Player One. And that is the only thing that I've ever bought off of Amazon, so I don't have any previous experience with them, to either put them down or praise them, so.
Alright, I've never pre-ordered anything from them before, as far as I can tell now. I don't think I have. I've bought like a few strategy guides, but that wasn't really from them now. I think it might have been one or two I did though, but like some of them were like, third-party sellers.
Yeah.
And they've always been fine, like just gotten delivery, just took a couple of days and then just be here fine and dandy. But in terms of pre-ordering stuff, never did though. But I think Annie said before that don't go with them because sometimes you don't really you actually don't get your game on release date.
Yeah, sometimes he did say that you get them a few days, possibly even a week later, so.
So yeah, that's kind of put me off though. But like as long as Shop 2 continues to be reliable for me, then I'm continuing going to use them because they're great. Like some of their prices are a bit dearer than Amazon now, but I rather pay more to get the game earlier than pay less and get the game like a week later. Pretty much. That's pretty much all I've been playing. Like I said, hardly anything bar Theatrhythm, and if it ends up this way in a couple of weeks' time, then I'm still only going to be playing Theatrhythm Final Fantasy, but that won't be the case now because I'll be playing a lot more games and my holiday from work's coming up soon, so I want to get into the backlog, my summer backlog, because I'm really, really, really slacking on that. Have you took part in the summer backlog?
I have, but like you, my friend, I have not even started yet.
I finished the one game. I finished Mirror's Edge, which I already give my thoughts about. I think it's a good game, but I think that game gets too much praise.
Yeah.
And I know what your thoughts on it though, because you tried playing it though, but you just got sick because of the blur and all that there.
I did. Whether it was my HD and my eyes couldn't take the HD, the quality, or whether it was something completely different. I got up as far as the mission where she goes into like the plaza room, and you have to jump up the wall, jump over these glass I want to say. There's a railing and it's got glass underneath it. And then you...
I wouldn't have a clue to where you're at though. That could be anywhere in that game because to me that game looks pretty much the same throughout.
I think I was only on something stupid like Mission 4. And I was going on...
I think there's 9 chapters so it probably was chapter 4 then if you're saying that.
Yeah. But it just screwed me royally. I was all like, yeah, I'm not going to play anymore, otherwise I will urge. So, there's always time. I can always revisit it later on, but having crappy eyesight doesn't help either.
Yeah, and if you're again a guy who gets kind of frustrated easily, like I do sometimes, then this game is not for you. Because I got pretty damn frustrated at points in that game. It's probably the most recent game got me really frustrated though. There's just some parts in that game that pissed you the hell off. It's just like sometimes you have to do these little jumps though, kind of tricky parts. You have to jump this end and try to jump, and you have to try to jump at the possible edge to make this other jump.
Oh, the combos,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I honestly would have thought it would have been better if they just made it a QTE. Because the amount of times where you're playing it and you're not prompted to press the button and you end up dying is ridiculous.
Yeah, sometimes it did try to did use jumps though, but didn't I pressed A to jump and just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes that did happen. No, I just felt it was like, okay, I got cheated out of a jump there. But like, yeah, I like the game, but it's not one of those games I can say I love. I think there's some people out there probably give it too much praise for what, in my opinion, there's people who love that game and just really want DICE to make a sequel. And it's like, yeah, it probably would be nice to see a sequel, but I'm not, vouching for it. I don't really want it to come out.
It wouldn't be a day one pickup for me either, I must admit.
No, I wouldn't. I just basically say fix your control issues, DICE, and fix a few other. Make the game look a bit different from most parts, because that game looked fucking the same. I know they'll kind of go for this color spectrum though, but most of the areas in that game were the fucking same. Just looked the absolute same. Nothing looked. Every building you went into looked the same. The outside looked pretty much the same. That was probably one of the main faults I have for that game. Just everything looked the bloody same.
Yeah. Look at the pretty colors. Oh, I've looked at the pretty colors for too long.
Yeah, I've already looked at these colors for 5 hours already. So yeah, I'm getting bored. Have you ever played Fear?
I've played Fear 2.
Right. Fear has that problem as well, where you basically go in these buildings and you pretty much see the same bloody kind of office corridors and these office spaces pretty much throughout the game. It is kind of repetitive though, and I really like that game. I think it's a great game, but that's probably the main problem with the game I had. Basically goes through the same corridors, the same looking office spaces, and just tends to get kind of boring after a while.
From what you're describing, it does sound a bit like Saw as well.
I've never played Saw.
Well, basically it's just based off the films. There's about, I don't know, what,
seven of them
now, isn't there?
Yeah, there was always 7 now. The final chapter was the last one. I don't think it was actually given. I think it was just called Saw, the final chapter.
Yeah, that was probably why I got a bit mixed up. But that game is so repetitive as well. It's run down these stairs, run through that corridor, kick this person in the head, run through the next corridor, do a puzzle, do another puzzle, save the person, woo, run through a corridor, kick someone in the head, run up the stairs, run down the stairs, kick someone in the head, save somebody, woo.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
For how many hours it was. Yeah, I never played the Saw. I've ever seen the first Saw, so I'm not really a fan of that series though. And I think they probably maybe just milked it dry with the sequel. I think came out every bloody year afterwards.
Yeah.
And Paranormal Activity's kind of going the same way, because there's probably a Paranormal Activity 4 coming out this year around Halloween time.
Yeah. I never understood how people could get scared over Paranormal Activity. I seriously don't.
I've never seen any of them, so I can't really give my 2 cents on that situation.
I'm pretty sure there's a few Saws on Netflix. I'm not sure about Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, there's I think in the Netflix UK one, there's Saw 5 and Final Chapter, which I kind of find quite interesting. It's if you want to, can you just give me the first one or something,
Yeah.
or all of them? I'd like to have them all so I can watch them in order rather than random ones like 5 and the last one. Gee, that's weird. I think it's the same with the US Netflix as well.
Shall I tell you who I think is behind the Netflix franchise?
Go.
George Lucas. Here you go. We don't want you to watch 1, 2, and 3. We want you to watch 4 and 5 before you start watching 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Now, wouldn't you actually prefer that you should watch the prequels first, even though I kind of made them? I made them, and people basically bash them dry.
Yeah.
But
George Lucas is the ultimate troll, though, isn't he? He's like, oh, let's release number 4, then number 5, then 15 years later, troll, low, here you go, it's Phantom Menace.
It's Phantom Menace, where everyone's really, really pumped for this film, and then they went in and they were pretty much fucking, their childhood was probably ripped out of them after that. They're watching that film,
Yeah.
and then their faith for George Lucas pretty much has never been the same since.
Then he got involved in the 80s. He got
Yeah.
involved with Atari, and that's another podcast.
Another story. Atari. I don't. Fortunately, we don't do old school gaming here now. If you want that kind of stuff, check out All Gen Gamers, for example, which celebrated its 100th episode this week. So it did.
Round of applause
Yep.
for them.
Yay!
Yeah, woo! No sarcasm
Yeah.
here. We genuinely do. What's the word?
I'm not being a dickhead now, exactly. And it was because of their 100th episode that I only got 5 hours sleep and was pretty much a fucking yawning wreck and tired wreck going into work Wednesday night. Because
Your Final Fantasy Theatrhythm has gone down to miss.
Yeah. No, because their 100th episode was live on, I think it was 9 p.m. Eastern time. I think it was like on before like Pete Dore was doing like video game music stuff, and I think it was like 9 p.m. Eastern time, which was like 2 a.m. here.
Yeah.
I went to bed about after 9, woke up at about 3, after 3, so I missed like the first part of it though. And it wasn't over till like after 7 then afterwards. I was like, jeez. It's like nearly 4.5 hours, that podcast.
Bloody hell.
Like their last one they did, the last like big, milestone 150, where they had like, had the videos of themselves and that lasted 4 hours, so this one was longer than that. And there's people out there that don't like listening to 3-4 hour podcasts, which it's not really saying great for me though, because most of the time now we tend to do nearly 3 hour podcasts.
You do.
And Radical Rascals is renowned for having 3 hour podcasts, which I started now because I can say I'm the founding member of the 3 hour club.
Don't go bragging too much. I introduced the ice cream van, so don't take all the credit.
Yeah, you introduced the random noises, which the ice cream fans and fucking all sorts of fucking crazy shit came out of your fucking end.
It did.
You're the noisemaker. You're the only member of the noisemaker club. I think actually someone else might have had one as well, but I think you're the founding member of the noisemaker club.
I must admit, I loved that Andy was talking about one of his UFC fighters, and next thing you knew, it was do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Luckily today, it did come at about 4 hours before we recorded. I have no idea why it came in the pouring rain, but obviously, over here in Cornwall, we love ice cream so much that we'll eat it when it's raining as well.
Ice cream is delicious.
Ice cream is my favourite ice cream in the world. Oh yes. What's your favourite flavour? Plain.
Yeah, I think I'm partial to the raspberry ripple myself. But I like vanilla anyway. It's nice. Anyway, I forget what we were talking about.
So do I. We are Tangent City today. We are Tangent City.
Yeah. That's not as bad. We've had more Tangent Cities in certain other episodes as well. I think we were talking about Saw, wasn't it?
Yes, we were what were we talking about? Paranormal Activity.
You were talking about Saw, we were talking about that, and then we were talking about George Lucas.
Yeah.
And
No, ice cream.
And then, yeah, from Saw to Paranormal Activity to George Lucas to ice cream. Right, random as fucking hell, folks, this week. But heck,
yeah, this time
I didn't really want to follow that. I'm still following the kind of the structure though, but I don't really want to go head on first now. Just move things along, because if we just move things along, this episode will probably last like an hour. I don't really want to do an hour podcast. I want 2 hours at least. Damn it. And we're getting there anyway with like 1 hour, 20 minutes coming up.
I'm going to call this, when this goes live, I wouldn't be surprised the following week that George Lucas comes out with his very own special ice cream brand named after all the characters that he's ever had in his films.
Yeah, it'll be one of those. It'll be an ice cream flavor. It looks good though, but when you actually taste it, it tastes like shite. And that's pretty much what it'll be called the Phantom Menace cone or something.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, it looks good, and then it tastes like shite. Like, a lot of people really do fucking hate those prequels with all of their hearts.
Yeah.
I don't mind them now. They're not great. Like, I really like Revenge of the Sith now. I still think that's a good film. Some people say, nah, all the prequels suck. It's just the original trilogy or bust for me, for some people. Have you watched Star Wars?
No.
Nope. I take that. Yeah, I take that sentence as nope. So you're going way over my head there, Darren, with all your Star Wars trivia.
I know all the characters, but when it comes to sitting down and watch them, it's like do 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 do. That's it. That's the only bit that I can stand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But seriously, this time next week or whenever it goes live, expect to see a Darth Vader licorice ice cream.
Yeah.
In the frozen counter near you.
Yeah. It'll be all black, so it will. They'll put some like little sauce things, black, dye flavoring or something. Put it on the thing then.
Which was the character that had his hand cut off?
Luke Skywalker.
So, just
Anakin Skywalker as well, though in the prequels, he got his as well, his father. But like Luke, yeah.
So then those will come with especially enforced hands that you can take off and collect them. So that would be the Anakin and Luke Skywalker collectible ice cream edition.
Yeah. No, basically the black for the Darth Vader one, it'll basically be a flippin', black flavoring ice cream, and then like the cone would be in shape of a hand, pretty much.
Yeah.
Would be shape of his like black glove or whatever. That'll be it. Yeah.
And with R2-D2 edition, all you get is a little midget inside the ice cream pots. You don't get no ice cream. There's just a little midget going bleep bloop bleep bloop bleep bloop bloop.
Yeah, all his will have little bits and bobs in it, so they would. Yeah. Right. We're really going on Tangent City there with ice cream flavors and the like. Jeez.
Yes.
I don't know what to do next. Frankly, I really haven't come prepared for this episode, which I didn't really want to, though. I just wanted to sort of just, go spur of the moment pretty much anyway.
Yes.
Right, I'm just going to ask now, because I could come up with a topic, and the fact is, it'll be a topic like you probably was like, I really have no sort of say in this situation or whatnot now. Like, have you ever played a lot of online games?
As in MMOs?
No, like multiplayer stuff, like have you played with other people, like random people, Call of Duty and games like that?
Yes. Yes, I'm not that much of a loner, buddy. I may come across like it on Twitter, but I do dabble in the games online.
Alright. I just wanted to talk a bit about this now. Have you ever had your fair share of, your standard Xbox Live players?
In what respect? Abuse or?
Yeah, like just not abuse like coming your way now. Like if there is, like abuse coming your way or like the other people. Basically, you hearing people, basically spiting the same, immature stuff like I fucking owned you and you're crap, you're a fucking noob, I fucking owned you.
You should do that voice more often. It's so seductive.
Yeah. Say that to the lady or something. Like, come over here to my house, baby, yeah.
Oh, sweetheart, don't let my voice put you off. I got balls of steel right here.
Yeah, I'm the fucking greatest, yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, I usually, when I play online, I play in a party, and at the minute I've been playing with, I don't know if you know these YouTubers, there's Comatose87, Grimlock Hero.
Comatose87, I think he does a podcast, The Users, is it? No. I think he is.
And
I check. I think I have to check that now.
You know Adam Agro of Red South City?
Yeah.
Usually when I play online, I usually just chat to them, so I don't usually talk to people, but when I'm playing on my own, like, sports games, yes, I'm going to bring sports games into this, like FIFA or whatever, it's like, you know, instead of causing any havoc, I lost 8-0, so instead of them, you know, getting in, you suck or anything, all I put is, you know, good game, that's it, and then they can't say anything then. But, not really. My feedback is atrocious, because most of my feedback is, like, has no understanding of this game, or trash talked, even though I never had my headset on. So,
So what was your, yeah, so was it like 15% or was like preferred you, and what, do you know what your percentage is? Like something preferred you, like
72% preferred me and 28% avoided me.
it's been a while since I actually checked that now, but I've done it. There is a few people though. Like I was 100% for a while though, and then like kind of rage quitting certain parts. Like there was one in SmackDown. I think it was SmackDown 07 or 08 now. I think it might have been 07. Yeah, I think it was because that was the first one.
Yeah.
And basically, I was playing on a guy there, and basically there's this move, this spike, this headbutt thing, which you cannot counter whatsoever. Basically,
Vaguely
there's certain.
going back, you know, I have to play it again.
It says basically just to be on your knees, just like basically like charge them with a headbutt into like your stomach, and you cannot counter that whatsoever. And there's people online who basically fucking just did that again and again and again and again, and it's really. And it was just one point though. There's that there. I think I might have rage quitting that there, but I think there was another one as well. There was this like special referee match as well,
Oh, I hate those so much.
where I was facing this guy, and then he basically beat me down, and then the other guy, whoever player was the referee, and basically just did a fast count, and it's like, yeah, fuck you, but
Yeah.
and I think I rage quit out of that. It's like, yep, screw that.
Going back to SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, sorry to interrupt you, mate.
No, go
The
ahead.
amount of times that I got beaten by Rey Mysterio, I hate that dude. I really do. I remember vividly, this is the only thing I remember, there was 3 matches, and this dude was all like, yeah, come on, we'll play, you know, best 2 out of 3 and all that, and it's like, then he went to best 3 out of 5, and then I quit there. But he was all like, oh yeah, come on, and he was Rey Mysterio all the time, right? And one of the matches was a ladder match, and I had stupidly chosen the Big Show. So, you know how slow
Yeah.
the Big Show moves when there's no stamina?
Yeah, he walks like a snail pretty much.
Right, so Rey Mysterio, this is about 15 seconds in, he did that thing where he jumps and then he kind of backs you out and then gives you a bulldog.
Oh yeah.
That was an instant, you know, West Coast pop there. So it was like, I'm down, and then Big Show wasn't moving. So I thought, either this is lag, or, you know, Big Show is really, really crap. Next thing I know, Big Show had literally, I'm not exaggerating, broken through the ring. The ring was still completely intact, but Big Show had just fallen through the ring.
What bloody glitch happened there?
Yes. So now all you see is Rey Mysterio climbed the ladder, he had got the belt, then he fell down, then all you see is the Big Show, he sat up, he got up, and then they just stood looking at each other. You know, all out of breath and everything, going, next thing you know, I get this voice message. I remember the voice message easily. It goes, wahoo! What happened there, bitch? You getting sunk through the ground. Big Show's a fat fucker. And that was it. I have it saved on an MP3 somewhere. I'll link you to it on Twitter if I can find it. It's on my iPod somewhere, and I just got to resync my iPod and everything. And, you know, whenever I'm down, whatever, I just play that and I think...
You play that and you're like, yep, I feel it's a team of 5. I feel good again, because this guy's a dickhead.
And it's like, it always makes me laugh because, you know, he was about 20, 30. He was like, wahoo, yeah, Big Show, fat fucker, yeah.
Oh, it wasn't like a 15-year-old? Jeez, that's a surprise.
If it was a 15-year-old, he had a bloody deep voice, I gotta say that.
Now, if it was 15-year-old or 14, we'd be going like, woohoo, Big Show, he's a fat fucker, yeah!
He fell through the floor! Yeah, Yeah, but that is the only thing that stands out to me. You know, it wasn't even, smack talk or anything. It was more like joking around, going, and then I was like, well, fuck this. Then I was the Great Kelly, and I beat him in a tables match. so that kind of summed it up there.
Yeah, that was payback. Yeah, I've had my fair few sort of stories. Well, like some of them don't really remember though, but I do remember a few games though. Like I remember Project Gotham Racing 3 now, I believe it was. And I remember I was in this like room with a bunch of people, and there was this guy that was basically saying the most really obnoxious shit. I think he was French or something. He sounded French or something like along those lines. I can't really remember. It's like this was years ago though. We was just saying just the really most obnoxious shit though, and just I think it was just pissing people off pretty much. So it was like you do come across those people online. Like that's mainly the reason why I don't play with people now. I only, as I said, like yourself, I always play with like when I'm usually on the 360. I usually be in a party and talking to like Darius or Dennis and Derek or whatnot now,
Yeah.
which is basically the best option now. So pretty much the party chat's your best friend. If there's people online, your friends online, who if you want to talk, if they want up for talking or whatever, even if you are playing games you don't want to hear, the immature Call of Duty players who shouldn't be playing that game in the first place, just go into party chat, and that is your basically your best friend at that point.
Making
So
friends is fun.
Yes, it is. But yeah, like it's what's there's other ones as well now.
Oh, back in the day when Uno first came out, did you ever go into the Uno games and just scout the talent?
Oh yeah, Uno was. Oh, I don't care. Uno was was part of the ultimate sort of laid back game. You could basically just play that game and just talk your ass off. That was really an enjoyable game to play.
Yeah.
I remember playing that with a bunch of people as well back, and then that was a great game. I remember, yeah, there was all people some had some horror stories.
Yeah.
Like there's people.
The whole
There's like,
camera thing come on,
yeah,
you used to see a penis.
yeah, some people were fucking probably sitting down naked and jacking off probably and things like that. I think I remember hearing someone, I forget who it was now, maybe basically saying that someone had their vision camera and it basically had porn. I think they had it probably to the screen or
Yeah.
the TV and had like where porn going on or something. It's like yeah, and people are going. Some people are like, pervy fuckers going, yay, free porn.
But then you had your Xbox Live Vision camera and you're like, damn, I can't do nothing anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, Xbox. Yeah, Uno was great though for that. There was some jackasses on it as well. Now,
Uno came out like 5 years ago, didn't it?
yeah, 5 years. Yeah, 5 years ago. It came out like later half of 2006.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that game's like the other one came out Uno Rush though, but I don't think I ever got it, or I did get it but I barely played it.
Oh, it is crap. I'd avoid that.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever bought it or not. I forget. No, but I remember getting Uno though, and basically that was pretty much a lot of people's go-to game for a few weeks anyway. Basically, this was because before party chat existed, pretty much to say, yeah, if we wanted to talk to each other, just go down to Uno and we just basically shoot the shit for a couple of hours or whatnot and just have a good time.
Yeah. Those were the days, man. Those were the days.
Yeah. Saints Row, the original Saints Row as well. I think that, like Dennis and I think we talked about this as well in a previous episode. It's basically playing Pimp My Bling My Ride. Which,
Oh yeah, the mini sub game that you could play on the. Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, it's one of the online modes in the original Saints Row. It's the best one in my opinion. We basically had to jazz your car up. You had to go to the garages and jazz your car up and do it before the other. You had to do it. You have to like kill KIs and then get money and go back and level up your car and then take it to a certain location.
Yeah.
And then and that's how you won the game. There was just me and Dan and a few other people basically had our group called the Franchise. And basically for like maybe a month or two, that's basically not every night, but mainly probably like every weekend perhaps. We basically played that game for a couple of hours and really had a good time. But there's like people who came across that though. There were probably, maybe, young ones as well, like immature people that are just trying to act all gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking owned you guys. You want fucking piece of shit, nigga? Like, saying the N-word pretty much, again and again. And you never know, they're probably were fucking like white as
Yeah.
the fucking day.
At the United Gamedom podcast, we do not condone the word nigger in any type of form, whether you are white,
Yeah.
black, or Asian. Do not use that word.
Yeah, I don't condone racism, pretty much. And that's the God's honest truth. I just basically saying it there as an example.
Yeah.
I know that's quite offensive when it's sort of, taken on either line, of course, but there is
Yeah.
people basically say it. Like, there is a lot of people saying on Xbox Live back in the day as well, every game you play, there was people saying the word flipping, oh, I totally got you, N-word. It's so great, N-word.
End pause word.
Yeah, just every flipping time, no.
You know, on MTV programs like Jackass and Viva La Bama and everything, they've got that disclaimer thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast needs.
Yeah, well, I should actually do it for this episode especially.
Yeah.
Warning. Whatever it is, yeah. And I'll have to get it down. I actually did a video, kind of like that. So I did on my GameSpot profile back in the days. Basically, because a bunch of us were doing like these impersonation videos, where we were impersonating a few of each other's voices and that. And I did one with I just did like the devil sign, the rock sign.
Yeah.
Put it there, and then basically had like the warning thing, and basically had me as a voiceover saying, warning, these like impersonations are not to be taken seriously or something like that. Or like, warning, you shouldn't do these impersonations for the safety or whatever, and then it just went to me doing these impersonations then. Pretty weird indeed.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that I do enjoy about impersonations and things. It's probably not really an impersonation, it's probably a mick take, but back in the old WWF, I don't know, you can see this video on YouTube, you've probably seen it as well, Darren, but where Booker T first comes to the WWF, well, it was WWF at that time, and The Rock takes the mick out of him.
Yeah.
Booker, okay, children, right. Anybody know what 2 + 2 is? Hey, how about you, Booker? 2 + 2. That's Thomas Jefferson, sucker.
Yeah, that's Thomas Jefferson sucker. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was when they were feuding.
It's all good banter,
Yeah.
though. It's all good banter. Nothing that we say should be taken as seriously as it is.
Of course not. Yeah, those are the good old days of the WWF.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't really watch it now. Do you still watch it?
I do. I'm a sucker for it, I must admit.
Yeah, I know Dan still watches it on and off as well, pretty much. Although he doesn't bother basically paying for it anymore, which I think is the good thing. You don't pay for it. Do you watch the pay-per-views online through certain means? I take it.
Illegal streaming for the win.
That's unfortunately, if there's one thing we have to say we do condone in a way is illegal streaming. Unfortunately, we do that, and screw us though, because sometimes we don't have the money to splash out every fucking weekend and week out or month or whatever. Like I think they are charged like $50
Yeah.
each month. And that's like we really do have it easy. Then compared, we have to pay £15 when it's on here, which is like what, like $30 I think.
About that, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, give or take, maybe a bit less or a bit more.
One of the things that I'd really like to see the WWE do is one of those like pay-per-views where like do you remember when Radiohead released their album and that you could pay as much as you wanted to?
Oh yeah, and Rainbows, yeah.
I'd love for the WWE to do that.
Thought chance that happening.
It's like before you get the stream, you pay what you think it'll be worth, and at the end of watching the pay-per-view, you can either add to it or stick with the same one. So say, I don't know, you paid £5, just picking a random number, £5, and then you watch the stream and you thought, oh, that was worth a fiver, because a fiver you can get a game for, and probably get a game either same amount of time, because an average pay-per-view now is 3 hours, with an occasional 4 for WrestleMania. So say you pay £5, you watch it and you think, oh yeah, that was good, and you either pay more what you thought it was worth, or, you know, feedback. Oh my god, Tyson Kidd is the new World Heavyweight Champion, Heath Slater is the new WWE Champion, that was crap. I ain't gonna watch this program again, sucker!
Yeah.
Needs
No, go ahead, sorry.
needs more boobies.
Go online if you want to see that now, pretty much, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. There actually was, I used to visit a site called NoDQ.com, and they actually used to do this, like, for every time, this was a few years back, every time when there was a pay-per-view showing up, they basically said that this little, like, poll or something, what do you think this pay-per-view is actually worth? Do you think this is worth, like, the amount that you're actually paying for it? And basically go through each of the matches, and basically say, what do you think this match is actually worth? You know, say, like, says like $40 pretty much, I think it was back then. And basically go through each of the matches and say, how much would you pay to see this match? Like say basically Chris Jericho and Edge, for example. What would you say? I'll pay like, you know, $10 for this match or whatever. And then go through the other ones and say like, you know, $5, $0 or whatnot now.
Yeah.
And basically add it up at the end and say, okay, this pay-per-view is worth $40, but you're only willing to pay like $25 for it. You already think it's worth $25.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like this. That's basically that's what that reminded me of when you were talking about it there. So it was.
Yeah.
I don't think they do it anymore though, but they used to do that back like a few years back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that should be a good idea though, but that is never going to happen. That's a slim to none chance of happening.
Back when they did the pay-per-views like Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday, when
Yeah.
they did the vote, you knew the voting was rigged. I'm sorry, but you knew the voting was rigged.
Yeah, exactly. That was the case though, because especially during the shows, they basically, you know, made sure that one person was, you know, getting more exposure than the other.
Yeah.
And basically trying to force this down your throat. So make sure you do it though. But then even if the probably didn't do that, just basically say, okay, this is who it was. Even though people saying, okay, that doesn't make sense. But they just made sure that WWE fucking wanted that now, because they weren't going to basically put like random like thing now, say, oh, like face Edge, and you know, who's Edge going to face? He's going to face Christian, Ric Flair, or Batista. It's like, yeah, he's not going to fucking face Ric Flair now. Of course not. That's not going to be the case. It's going to be Christian, of course. And then, of course, it's be like Christian.
I remember one pay-per-view, I can't remember if it was like a write-in or whatever, but going back to when you said that Edge fought Ric Flair, I think it was New Year's Revolution 2006 or 7, and Edge lost his Intercontinental title to Ric Flair, and then he went on later on in the evening cashing his Money in the Bank.
That was 2006.
Yeah, so it does happen.
Yeah, but like, I'm just basically saying as an example now,
Yeah.
of course, anyway.
Yeah. Ric Flair.
Was that? Yeah, that was, I loved that there, that night though.
Yeah, Vince kind of ruined it a bit though, where he, you know, came out and everything.
The main problem I have with the whole Money in the Bank thing now is every single time now, whenever someone gets the Money in the Bank, cashes in and wins it. Every single time. I wish they'd just stop doing that. I wish there would be one time, basically, someone cashes it in and doesn't win the title.
Yeah, I think
That has never happened yet.
I honestly think that could happen this year in the Raw one. I really do.
I really hope they do, though. Like, this should happen by now, because the whole Money in the Bank thing's been in existence now for 7 years.
Yes. WrestleMania 21 was the first one.
Yes, exactly, and that's when Edge won it. And then, like, you know, like, nearly a year later, he cashed it in.
Yeah.
But, like, ever since then, whoever's won it pretty much has always cashed it in and won it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of silly.
The SmackDown one is appalling this year. really, really appalling.
Yeah, who's in a fucking Santino Morella? Like, for fuck's sake, really?
Santino Marella, Tyson Kidd, Albert,
Christian,
Christian, Cody
Alberto
Rhodes.
Del Rio,
Uh,
like in it.
yeah. No, Alberto Del Rio is challenging, who's the champ? Sheamus.
Is it? I'll
Yeah.
have to check here.
Tyson Kidd, why they put him in there, I have no idea. I'm pulling for a Cody Rhodes win, even though I honestly think Dolph Ziggler will win. I'm pulling for a Cody Rhodes win. Because you've got people like Tensai in there, and it's really quite lackluster.
Yeah, it's Dolph Ziggler, Christian, Tensei, Alberto, not Santino Morella, Tyson Kidd, Cody Rhodes, and who the fuck's the guy with the beard?
The beard.
Yeah, there's a guy there between, and I don't know who the fuck that is.
Has he got like a really stupid looking beard?
It's like what now? I don't know who the fuck that is, so.
Just casually pausing the podcast.
Yeah,
You just have a little read up.
yeah. I'm just looking at the guy. It doesn't say his name though. It's just basically looking at the pictures here for it, and that's pretty much who I see.
Just go on the old WWE.
My fucking Firefox is frozen.
The stupid looking bearded guy looks like Tensai.
No, it's not that guy. Nah, I know who Lord Tensei is. Check who it is here.
Oh, Damien Sandow.
Oh, is that who it is?
Yeah, the new guy who always enunciated properly and thinks he's a walking dictionary and thesaurus and...
I have no idea who that is.
The Daniel
No.
Bryan CM Punk match could go either way, which is quite good.
Isn't this like the third pay-per-view they faced each other?
Yeah, but the matches have been stellar quality.
Well, of course, they're like from Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
so Ring of Honor alumni.
In my head, this is how I want things to pan out, right? Kane goes in and wins the Money in the Bank contract. Then the winner of either CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Kane comes down, chokeslams the hell out of both of them. CM Punk gets to his feet saying he wins, because I'm guessing he'll retain, because AJ is kind of like all gushing over him at the minute. Then Kane comes down, chokeslams him, tombstones CM Punk, and then AJ's in the ring. She makes out with Kane because she's, like a nympho. And then Punk wins with a roll-up. That's what I'm calling.
Okay. Wasn't it last year that they cashed? Someone, I think Daniel Bryan or someone cashed it in like at the end of the pay-per-view.
Alberto Del Rio when CM Punk retained against John Cena.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, that's right, exactly. 'Cause I remember that they're happening at the end of the pay-per-view last year. I don't even watch them. No, I just look at the results.
Because Spunky Punky was going to say that he's going to leave, and he left for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever it was, and then he came back when John Cena beat Rey Mysterio for the WWE title, and he was like, "I'm the best in the world!" And that's when Living Colour's cult of personality came into effect.
Yeah. What's up? It's next week actually. So I'll be on when this podcast's up. Right, anyway, just be good moving on now from this long tangent. Just going to the final subject here before we sort of maybe end things now. Have you been watching anything whatsoever?
Nothing, mate. Nothing other than the wrestling that we've been talking about.
Yeah. I watched a film. I don't know if you ever seen this film now, Liam. It's it's a 2001 film, I believe. It's directed by Frank Darabont. It stars Jim Carrey. It's called The Majestic.
Never even heard of it. When you said I thought you were going to say he's going to talk about The Mask, didn't he? But that was like 94, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was on Netflix on US there this week, so it was, and I was like, yep, I'm going to watch this again because it's been a year since I've seen this film. I really like it. basically the synopsis for it is Jim Carrey plays this guy called Peter Appleton, and he's basically like a writer, Hollywood writer now, and he just released his first film, which has been released now, and this is like right in the 50s net time now, so it was basically when America pretty much had their bad beef with Russia,
Yeah.
and then sort of all hell broke loose now, and that things were happening, that he was actually accused of being a communist then, because he attended this meeting in college, but he didn't know it was a thing for communists back then, and he pretty much got drunk and left and got had an accident, and then he woke up in this small town called Lawson, pretty much with amnesia. He pretty much forgot, he lost his memory pretty much, and people then suspected him to be this soldier who was missing in action but never found, called Luke Trimble from World War II.
Right.
And pretty much he does it because of course he doesn't know, and he just settles in now, and then he eventually gets used to being Luke Trimble and out there, and starts to be settled into his that town now. And then basically his film, the one he did, comes because basically the Majestic is based on the cinema that the father of Luke Trimble, who's played by Martin Landau, used to have, but then when went to the war, and pretty much when he didn't come back, and other people's sons didn't come back from the war, pretty much closed it down. It was just closed and just became dilapidated pretty much.
Yeah.
But then when he came back though, when he assumed it was his son came back, pretty much decided to reopen it again and furnish it up now. And then his film came, the one he did, and then all of a sudden he pretty much his memory recovered then. And that's pretty much, I'm not going to spoil anything more about it now, but I really like it. It's a really good film. Mainly because of Frank Darabont, for people who don't know, he did The Shawshank Redemption, which is one of my favourite films of all time. He did The Green Mile, again, one of my favourite films of all time.
Oh, I love that film.
Very, very, very sad ending. Every time I watch that film, I just cry at the ending. I just, not the proper ending now, but towards the end, what happens with Michael Clark Duncan's character, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he did the first season of The Walking Dead as well. So he did.
The synopsis that you gave me for The Majestic did honestly sound, the Simpsons episode where the real Seymour Skinner comes and the principal Seymour Skinner gets called out for being Armin Tanzarian, and that's what it sounded a bit like to me.
Well, it's not completely like that now, but
no, it just kind of sounded a bit similar,
Yeah, but pretty much that's what it is. He just comes this small town and lost his memory not there. But I really recommend checking it out now. Can you still do you still have the Netflix US?
I do.
Yeah, so I recommend checking it out now. So I do. I watched it years ago. I think it was on. I think it might have been on Sky or something, or I might have rented it or something. I forget now. I remember watching it someplace though, and just really enjoyed it. And it's been years since I've seen it though, so I just sat down and watched it again. Have you watched the Edge bio yet?
Excuse me, yes I have.
And what did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it.
Now, did you prefer the Austin one?
Yes.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, yes.
I'm glad you said. I did enjoy the Edge one myself though, but I think I really liked that Austin one. I just really liked the way it went, just the way it flowed, and like yourself, I did really like that song at the end, the package at the end of that bio as well.
With George Strait's Somewhere Down in Texas.
Yeah, that just pretty much fit that there perfectly.
Yeah.
Just cutting so that's just perfect. Don't change anything about that.
Because the ending song was kind of anticlimactic for Edges, wasn't it?
What was Edges again? I forget.
It was no idea who it's sung by, but it's one of his favourite bands. That's all I remember. He said that at the end.
Right.
But I'll tell you what song which would have made, even better for the montage was Leave the Memories Alone, the one that they did use for Ric Flair's retirement thing.
Right. No, I don't recall that song.
But everything needs a halfway decent, song to kind of end it, because I was watching it and then I saw the montage and then it ended and I was like, is that it?
Yeah.
But very good story, but the whole interviewing, I'd have kept that out, where he goes to the radio station and everything.
Yeah. Like that's I think that's one of the things. That's the thing about Randy Orton's one. I didn't really watch it all though. That's kind of what his one does as well. It's kind of like I think goes through like a year of his life really.
I haven't seen that one.
And I think like I didn't watch it all though yet. I like watched the first lack of minutes, and that's kind of the same sort of deal where you see him doing these radio interviews. I think it takes place before Elimination Chamber starts there. I think it was like last year, I think it might have been last year's or the year before.
Oh, I know which one you mean, where he goes to fight CM Punk at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yes. That was on Sky Sports 3, just before WrestleMania as well.
Right. Yeah, it's on there. I forget what it's called. It's like Rise of a Predator, I think it's called.
Which actually sounds like a pedophile documentary.
Yeah, Randy Orton, Rise of a Sexual Predator.
Yeah. But
yeah,
he's not having a good time, as old Randy, as he's been suspended, and it's not good. Randy is...
Everyone seems to be getting suspended.
Yeah, in a minute, all we're going to have left is the one-man rock band, baby. And I want him to win a title so badly.
Yeah. I think he's back from suspension now anyway, Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho. All just because he needed to come over and play Download.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what that was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did you see the picture that they posted on WWE.com? It's like, Chris Jericho's coming back. And then they had a picture of the crowd, and what was in the front of the crowd? A Brazilian flag. Seriously, I thought, how ironic is that?
Yeah, very nice indeed.
I must admit, there is one thing that I did watch that I've put on every time that I've been drifting off to sleep, and that is the best moments of 2011. That 4 episodic.
Oh yeah, Best of Raw,
Yeah.
SmackDown and Raw, yeah. I'm actually surprised something like that actually shown. I was like, oh, that's all of it. Like, damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So far, I'm up to the bit where John Cena is going to get fired.
Right.
Because he lost to Punk, and Punk's gone, and Triple H has just come in to relieve McMahon of his duties, and then I fell asleep.
When he becomes what, the COO, isn't it?
Yeah, the owl of the company.
Yeah. And then I haven't really watched it a whole lot now. I kind of follow on and off on WWE.com and that there, and just look at the pay-per-view results and things like that. But the only one I really watch now is I always watch the Royal Rumble match.
Yep.
Because I always enjoy the match itself, not the pay-per-view and WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I watch though. But I watched a bit of that there. The one you mentioned, that one I watched the first match I was on, the Miz and John Morrison.
Yeah, for the title.
And then and then the second match I think was Dolph Ziggler versus what the fuck's his name, Kofi Kingston.
For the Intercontinental title, yeah.
Yeah, I think I was the one after it, and that's where I dropped off then.
I'll tell you what I would like to see. I don't know if it's been produced on DVD yet, but Elimination Chamber, every Elimination Chamber match on DVD. Put that on Netflix.
Yeah, it actually has been released on DVD.
Has it?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Sorry, we just got your message there now. Go ahead if you want. If you need to go.
It's all good.
Ahead.
It's all good. It's all good, buddy. It's all good.
Okay. Yeah, that actually one is released on DVD. So it is. It's I think it's called Iron something. I'll check here. But that one, we'll have all the Elimination Chambers. Yeah, I do recall that one being released though. I actually forget what it's called now. It's something Iron. I think it's called Iron Cage or Iron something. Anyway.
I mean, stick that on Netflix, and I'd happily sit there and watch every one. Because the very first one, Shawn Michaels won, didn't he?
Yeah.
2003 World Heavyweight Championship.
2002.
Damn it. Always a year out somehow. That, and I'd like to see the WrestleMania Anthology put on Netflix, as well as the Royal Rumble Anthology.
That is never gonna happen.
It'd be awesome if it did, but
I already have them though, so I don't need to. I already have the. I've got the SummerSlam one. I've got the WrestleMania one. I've got the Royal Rumble one. I've got all them. The one I'm really annoyed with is the whole King of the Ring one. No, not the King of the Ring. The Survivor Series. They only ever released the first 2 volumes of it, and then just stopped.
yeah.
Like they only got up to 96, and then for some reason they just stopped. And I don't know why. I don't know if there's any reason behind it, but they just stopped.
Yeah, saying about the King of the Ring, you've just reminded me that peed me the hell off as well.
What, the best of King of the Ring one, is it?
Yeah. Because, I mean, watching it back, they completely missed out the year Billy Gunn won the King of the Ring. There were,
Yeah, it was 90. They didn't put anything in 99, I assume. They didn't have any 99 matches in, was it?
not to my recollection, no. You know, it was just all the popular stars at that time. And then, you know, some of them weren't even King of the Ring matches themselves. Some of them, like Hogan Undertaker, that was like King of the Ring 2002, wasn't it?
No, Hogan Undertaker was Judgment Day that year. I think you mean Hogan Undertaker Rock.
I'm not too sure, but either way, that was one of the matches on the DVD. And that had nothing to do with the main what do they call it? The main competition at all.
Yeah, I think the probably just meant like, King of the Ring, like the actual pay-per-view itself, I assume, anyway.
Because I mean, once again, to my recollection, there was no bloody King Mabel shown at all. Because that would have been awesome if they shown King Mabel being carried on that throne thing. So then we just remember
Yeah,
Matt and Jeff
and
Hardy carried him in, didn't they?
Yeah, and everyone broke their backs.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, like the Iron Wills, like I sent you the link there anyway off that though.
Yeah, I just brought it up on oh, I get you. I'm having a minute there.
Yeah, it goes up to the one from the ones from 2010.
Yeah. I mean,
but I actually would like to see that one on Netflix myself actually.
Just pulling up the King of the Ring. Here's some of the matches, right? We've got obviously King of the Ring finals match. We've got Bret Hitman Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Then we've got Kings and Champions Hulk Hogan, Yokozuna for the WWE title.
Yeah.
They 95, 96, 97, 98. Oh, we've got Undertaker Rock. That was it.
Yeah, 99 one, isn't it? Yeah. And then I think that McMahon's versus Austin as well. The other match. I think they had that as well on there.
But you know, they've missed some pivotal matches here. Oh, and then you've got some Blu-ray exclusives. We've got Austin and Mark Mero, Triple H Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, Punk and Jericho, and Del Rio Bryan. So it seems that they favorited a bit of the Blu-ray there.
But like they're from like the later years and out there anyway, when that whole King of the Ring thing came back, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, the Austin and Mero one was 96, and they jumped to 2002 with Triple H and Undertaker. It's random because, you know, they completely missed the coronation of King Mabel and nothing in there at all about Billy Gunn or Mr. Ass.
Yeah, they probably just want to get rid of them though, because
you know,
don't really pretending they never existed, it seems.
It's a good job that Chris Benoit didn't become King of the Ring then, isn't it really?
Oh jeez, yeah. It's been 5 years since that happened. Hard to believe.
Yeah. 2007, the night before the pay-per-view where he was supposed to wrestle Punk. But then John Morrison took his place and won the title. I could talk about wrestling for the next 3 hours, mate. So.
Yeah, so can I though. But I think we're probably the only two. And Dennis,
Yeah.
if Dennis was on here, we'd be on for another 3 hours. But I think everyone else would be like, unfortunately. But like I said, I don't really care though. This is just basically a little wee spontaneous episode, spin-off episode anyway from the proper lining. This is going to be episode 11.5.
Yeah.
Because Dennis and Derek have been doing their ones. So this is basically my one because Dennis is away on holiday. I hope he will be. He'll be back pretty much when this is up. He'll be back tomorrow. He'll be back on the 16th. And Derek's pretty much not really free though. He's not around either though. So just did this and so probably the next one will be happening will be when I'm probably off pretty much then.
Yeah.
Off for 3 weeks.
I must admit, the tweet that you sent out yesterday was all like, does anybody want to do a podcast today or later on tonight? I'm like, damn, you forgot about me, haven't you, bitch?
No, I didn't forget though. I assumed I assumed you forgot.
Well, I was like, Anzi was like sending me a message on something, can't remember what it was now, and I saw yours like, he's either trolling me or he thinks that I don't want to come and he's not playing fair with me.
Fuck yeah.
And then it just ends there. Then you go offline, you unfollow me on Twitter, delete me off as a friend on Facebook, and then that's it.
Yeah. That's not going to happen unless you become really, 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 really abusive to me, and then that'll be it. But that's never going to happen.
Yeah. I doubt it.
Right. Do you want to wrap this up?
You want me to wrap it up?
No, do you want me to wrap this up?
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted me to rap. Like, boom, chicka, boom, 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 chicka, boom, lay down the beat.
No.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Wrap this up and smoke a fatty and get wasted.
Go play some Mirror's Edge. Then go jump through a hedge.
Or you can go play Samuel de Amigo and take some LSD, and those tracks will make even more sense to you perhaps then.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Yeah. Yeah, wrap it up indeed. Yes, thank you for this very strange episode of the United Gamedom podcast. I thank Liam for showing up.
Just casually logging into Skype, and he was like, "Yeah, do you want to do it?" I was like, "All right then."
Nah, it's not that now. But yeah, I hope we'll probably bored a few people silly with the wrestling talk. But like, I'm a fan of wrestling, so kind of a fan of the older stuff rather than the new stuff. But I look at the new stuff every now and again. But I can easily watch stuff from back from around 90s, early 2000s era, pretty much. And can easily talk about it all day long, but I'm not going to though, because I said myself, Liam, and Dennis would be the only ones who can talk about it, and Derek would be falling asleep. So he will. But that's anyway. Thank you very much, Liam, for joining me.
Thank you, buddy, for having me.
Thank you. Basically, before we head up, you can plug your channel and your Twitter. Go ahead.
Okay, everything with me is all the W's dot whatever, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.com /TheDonovanViper. I've also created a Facebook like page. So if any of you like to be spontaneous like this podcast was, you can always hippity hop over to all the W's.Facebook.com /TheDonovanViper1. The reason why there was a 1 was because I've already stolen the URL link to the Donovan Viper, which is my personal Facebook page. Well, personal online Facebook page, I should say. So, yeah, you're more than welcome to come over, give me a boost, say hello, whichever. Darren sends me a boost all the time, so it'd be nice to have somebody else who sends me a boost too, so...
Yeah, I hardly use Facebook, so... Like I said before, one of the signs of the apocalypse, dark day, is when I sign up for Facebook. I did it though, but I don't really use it that much. I just tend to post photos and comment on certain people's status updates. That's pretty much all I do. I'm not one of those ones who can easily spend 5-6 hours on it a day.
Yeah,
I don't know how people can.
playing Farmville.
Yeah, Farmville and SimCity Social. That's just a little dig at Dennis there, because he was playing it though, but he's basically said fuck this game because the main problem is basically you ran blah blah blah. Man, you run out of stuff. I don't know why I was going ran.
Right.
Jeez, my grammar is absolute mess at this moment. You run out of stuff and then basically you have to spam your flipping friends
Yeah.
pretty much a lot to get your stuff topped up again pretty much. And therefore it becomes annoying.
One of the things I've been hooked on is something called Song Pop.
Song pop, what do you sing flipping Hannah Montana and
Well, you
stuff like that?
get the first couple of lyrics or first signs of music, and you have to guess which song they are out of a choice of 4. A lot of people play it, which is really surprising, so it is a good game. So if you're a fan of music and you like guessing random things, and head on over to Song Pop.
That's on Facebook, isn't it?
Facebook.com/Song Pop.
Is it all music or just like the pop stuff, like fucking Rihanna and Adele and shit like that?
Well, they do.
The stuff that you listen to. I'm not gonna condone you. So I know you like what music do you listen to before head on? Because like I know you listen to certain stuff now.
I like any sorts of music, mate. Anything. I mainly get bantered about listening to Hannah Montana, just mainly because I played the Hannah Montana video game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like a bit of Taylor Swift and Demi Lovato and things like that. But then jumping completely the other side of the spectrum, I do like a bit of Paramore, Linkin Park, even things straight through to Bullet for My Valentine and My Chemical Romance, and jumping it right around again, I'm the whitest kid you'll ever meet, but yeah, I still listen to things, Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Doggy Dogg and Mac Miller and... So really, it's anything.
Right. Yeah, I kind of share a bit of the same sort of interest as myself, though. Like, I like Paramore. Like, Taylor Swift, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of, but I do like some of her songs.
But you wouldn't kick it out of bed, though, would you? Just putting it out there, you wouldn't, though, would you?
I'm just going to basically say, I'm just going to not answer that question. I don't want to sound like a fucking, perv now, which I probably already did. Especially with last episode. With the compliment I gave to Sammy at the start of the podcast, it sounded maybe a bit kind of pervy, in a way. You'll find that out soon enough, Liam.
I honestly haven't listened to last week's yet, so I'll go back and listen to that in a minute after we finished up this episode.
No, the one I'm talking about is not up yet.
Oh, okay. Here's me thinking.
The one with Sammy, it'll all be uploaded when this one's uploaded, but when we're recording this, it's uploaded, on Sunday, tomorrow, 8th of July.
I will listen to it then. 'Cause I was talking as in, we're talking about the week, so, I haven't listened to it yet, so, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm confused myself now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's basically going back to the time capsule at the start.
Yeah.
I'll be 22 in a few days' time.
Yeah.
I'm 21 now. I'll be 22 in a few days.
You're younger than I thought you were 27.
Yeah, I'm 27. Yeah, I recorded the podcast the day before my birthday and I uploaded on the day of my birthday. So I did. So.
Oh, aren't you a little sly mofo then?
Yeah, that's what I did this year.
Yeah.
Right, back to tangent again right at the end here, pretty much.
Going back to Taylor Swift, yeah.
Yeah, again.
If she's listening, I mean, everything that I say, I would not kick you out of bed, love.
Thanks, darling.
Anytime.
I'm acting a really weirdo this episode.
Then she releases a song called Tubby Man or something.
The Tubster.
Oh, Tubby Man, you said you loved me, but I'm gonna sing a country song about you.
Okie dokie. Right. I don't know what to do now. Right. Just before I go, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm DoWM85. You can follow me on YouTube. I'm DoW85. on Facebook, Darren there. You can friend me there if you want though, but chances are I won't. But there's no point though because I barely do anything there. That might be something you prefer though, rather than people spamming you all day with status updates and requests and things like that. If you're like myself and don't prefer that, then go ahead and add me. And you can also, of course, follow the United Gamedom podcast on United Gamedom podcast on YouTube, at United Gamedom on Twitter, and on iTunes to subscribe and download it and have some fun there. And you can send us questions to unitedgamedom@gmail.com. Once again, that's all there is to say on the situation. This podcast is over 2 hours long. I told you we could do it. I did it, Liam. It was only the two of us, but we made it over the 2 hour mark, so
Just
hip hip
the
hooray.
two of us, we can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I.
Yeah. Will Smith and his son there.
Yeah.
Or
Will Smith and somebody.
Yeah. Well, I guess like his son's in the video anyway. Or Dr. Evil and Mini-Me.
I am Dr. Evil. You owe me $1 million. It would only be $500,000 after tax. So, yeah.
$100 billion. Right. I think I'll do. This has gone into absolute insanity. Probably an hour ago, I say.
Yes.
I'm just getting downhill more. But I might not even release this episode. This will be the infamous lost episode, which I was too ashamed to upload it. I'm not going to do that now. But thank you all for listening. I will see you all next time. The next podcast will probably be, of course, the episode 12, which Dennis will probably be on, Derek will be on. We'll be back to our normal schedule and then everyone will be back on. Dennis will probably be talking about his holiday. Derek will probably be talking about his trip to Chicago to see Iron Maiden and Alice Cooper. And I will be talking about probably the same old shit that I've already done here for the last 2 hours. Because my life's very, very boring. So anyway, guys, take care. Thank you, Liam, once again. And we'll see you all next time. Ciao.
Oh, Pedro.